What do you do when you want to change paths? Well, firstly, check in with yourself, right? And ask yourself a better question. Because how many of you agree, when it comes to decisions, know that decisions changes your life. Most people, they don't ever question what decision they're making, let alone how they're making that decision. You ever notice this? How in our life, especially by the schooling education system, you were never taught how to think, but what to think. Nobody sat you in a classroom growing up as a youngster, and nobody said to you, hey, let's learn how to actually think for ourselves. Everyone said, this is what you should be thinking. So think about this. Life has conditioned you all throughout your life. Your neighbors, your parents, the generational traumas, your teachers, the caretakers, the people you've been listening to, that has contributed towards the what you are thinking. You want to change your life? You learn how to actually think. How to actually think. And the first step to how is realizing what's the question I'm asking myself. Because your brain is like Google. It's being driven through the use of questions unconsciously. It's kind of like, you ever felt overwhelmed before? If you ever stop and pause, you realize when you're in a state of overwhelm, you're asking yourself the unconscious question, like I was, why am I so overwhelmed? You ever notice that? You're asking yourself a question, literally in your mind, why am I so overwhelmed? When you're procrastinating, if you ever become aware of what's the thought, you realize, why am I procrastinating? Right? So think about this. The terrible question equals a terrible answer. A calculator doesn't question the input. It just gives you an output. So imagine you make a single shift. If you say, why am I so overwhelmed? How does that make you feel? Why am I so overwhelmed? Why am I so overwhelmed? How does that make you feel? Overwhelmed. If all of a sudden you begin to say, how can I most easily make it happen? How can I most easily make it happen? Do you notice how all of a sudden, boom, feel different? Because now we're learning how to think. So in a state of decision, you've got to be thinking in the right way, asking yourself the right questions. How do most people make decisions? They are unconsciously asking themselves, what can I afford? What am I capable of achieving? What have I got the time for? What do I need to do? 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 What do I need to do every day? What do I need to do? To-do list. We become the human doers. To-do list. Rarely do we ever ask, what do I want next? If you make that single shift, what do I need to do next, to what I want next, your life has just changed. Your life has just changed in an instant because all of a sudden you are actually doing what you want and not getting caught up in the business of life. Instead of saying, what can I afford? Imagine if you was to say, what honors my potential? Your life has just changed because all of a sudden you're now going for things that truly honors you, that develops you, that evolves you. Remember, billions of people on planet Earth every single day ask terrible questions and wonder why their life resembles that. Ask better questions. The quality of the question dictates the quality answer. You want to learn how to think? Ask better questions. This is like Google. It's only as good as the input. So what are some of the great questions you can ask yourself? Would you like to know? Which decision is most aligned with my potential of who I want to become? To put simply, write this down. Which decision honors my potential? Which decision honors my potential? Now that's important. Ask me why. Because let me remind every single one of you. Firstly, let's be honest. We sometimes always focus on money or the lack of, but we don't realize we can't take any of that with us. You can't take any of this with you. True. And at the end of your life, think about this. You wouldn't be remembered for the money you was able to save. No, you would be remembered for who you were. So your who is your ultimate legacy. So remember, in life, it's not about what you truly leave behind. It's about what you're passing forward to the next generation as a message. And the ultimate message you're going to be passing forward is who you became in this journey called life. Who did you become? Did you evolve you? Did you overcome your traumas? Did you overcome the generational traumas that's been holding you back? Or did you just settle in that place where you know you don't belong? This is, of course, a choice you have right now in terms of what you're going to do. And what you do today, of course, determines your tomorrow. So make better choices. Ask yourself, get into the habit of asking yourself, which decision honors who I want to become? Honor your legacy.